everywhere. So my thing is, but small markets in the NFL do exist. Look at Green Bay, small market. Look at New Orleans, small market. Look at Kansas City, small market. But as long as you can be relevant and make the league money, you gonna get your TV time. And the thing about the NFL that I realize compared to the NBA, but I will go back and compare this, is that the NFL, you are your record for the previous year is going to determine how much TV time you're going to get, and that's the God honest truth. And I say this because last year the Saints only had one Monday Night Football game, and they only had one NBC game. They did not have a Sunday Night Football game last year. They played Week 1 in Minnesota on Monday night, and they played all the way to all the way to December. They wasn't nationally televised on NBC. They wasn't on NBC all the way until I think December the first week of December against the Atlanta Falcons. Now I believe they was game of the week a few times in between with the Redskins, and they was game of the week in December against the Carolina Panthers. So they were on national TV. But this year, compared to where they was at last year, they got two Monday Night Football games. This got to be a first in NFL history to have played back-to-back weeks on Thursday night, where you hosted on NBC. You hosted on NBC on Thanksgiving, so you're on the national stage. And also the following week, you got to go to Dallas on Thursday Night Football. Back-to-back weeks, you get that luxury and respect. And also, late in the season, you play the Pittsburgh Steelers on CBS, so that's probably another national televised game. I believe with the Giants was a national televised game. So you have a lot of options because the Saints did what they did the previous season, going an 8-game winning streak and find themselves at 11-5 and coming 10 seconds away from going to the NFC Championship game. They got rewarded with more national TV time. Now, let's look at the New Orleans Pelicans. Their brothers next door. They, to a degree, did get rewarded. I think they have maybe about 10 games this year. 10 out of 82 games that's going to be nationally televised. 10 out of 82. Is that right? No, it's not. 10 out of 82 games going to be nationally televised. And they swept the Portland Trail Blazers, and they did win one game. They dominated game 3 against the Golden State Warriors, but they get 10 games. It's a big market league that dominate, and I really wish that the NBA would have more of a flex system when it comes to scheduling. Would stop forcing us with these big market teams down our throats. I like to watch the Boston Celtics. I do. I think they are a fun team. I think it's going to be cool to watch the Philadelphia 76ers. Once again, fun team. I mean, Ben Simmons almost, day one, almost had a triple-double. He should have had the first triple-double of the season, not Alfred Payton. I like watching them. Toronto. I like watching Toronto. To a degree, I like watching Golden State just because they got so many ways to beat you, and it makes my mind wonder, wow, they just offensively they can beat you on the defensive end and they can beat you on the offensive end as well. Now, I'm tired of seeing them on TV? Yes. I like watching them because they challenge my mind to try to see how they're gonna beat you next. But I'm tired of seeing them on TV. I'm tired of seeing the Lakers already because they're gonna force that down our throats. What about some of these young talents? Even prime example, I like what TNT said the other day about Steven Adams, that sooner or later we're gonna start calling Steven Adams an all-star. I 110% agree that sooner or later we all gonna start calling Steven Adams an all-star because he deserved it. He real life deserved it. So who's that's going to replace out the all-star game? To me, there should only be 2 Warriors this year that gets in. Because the fan base votes the Warriors in. Remember, they represent Oakland, they represent San Francisco, they're the Bay Area, and there ain't no telling how many people around California that's all of a sudden Golden State fans. And they once again, they're like a rock star when they come in throughout the NBA. So, this is my thing. I look at it like this. Devin Booker should be an all-star this year. Also, I think Drew Holiday should be an All-Star this year. What about people like Jamal Murray? What about people like Steven Adams and others like that? Who they gonna replace? To me, they should. I mean, Klay Thompson. If he don't be playing at a higher level, if he still have these struggling games, and he gets shut down by some of these people, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. To me, Steph and KD should be the only ones that's getting in. That's it. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Because there's too much talent out in the Western Conference that they taking up all the spots. But a lot of that got to do with, once again, TV time. Because the average NBA fan, if that's all you see, that's all you're going to know. Just like, I like what NBA 2K doing. I know I'm on this topic a little hard, but it bothers me. We was, NBA, you play my player, you play every week. They release the Throwback Thursday jersey uniforms. And so far, so good. I got to give it to 2K. They've been hitting well when it comes down to these uniforms. Yesterday, they released Charlie Ward. And me being a football guy, I was excited. Because if anybody know who Charlie Ward is, he is the NBA's only Heisman Trophy winner to be in the College Football Hall of Fame and appear in the NBA Finals. Didn't win it, but to appear in the NBA Finals. Charlie Ward, 1993 Heisman Trophy winner for Florida State. Drafted by the New York Knicks. Not the New York Giants, not the New York Jets, not the Buffalo Bills. The New York Knicks. It's crazy, right? Had a decent career in the NBA. A decent career. Charlie Ward. And I was like, man, if you really don't know basketball, and the more popular jersey was like Jerry Sloan, I think it was Spud Webb. People know who Spud is because he was one of the smallest dunkers to win it before Nate Robinson. Spud Webb, I'm trying to think of some other ones right now. I can't remember all offhand, but Charlie Ward wasn't moving. People don't know who Charlie Ward is unless you a Knicks fan or you a Florida State guy or you just a football guy or a sports guy in general. And I said, oh man, that's Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward is the Heisman Trophy winner. So, I'm sitting down looking at it like, how much people really do pay attention to sports? Or they just going by the highlight watches? And I think that's what we got a lot nowadays, especially when you think about the youngest, man. I just want to be like Stephen Curry. To me, one thing that I do like, when people don't give credit to the Warriors, and if you are a fan, is we just see the highlights of playing, shooting the basketball. But how much do people really give respect to being like, if I want to be like Stephen Curry, or if I want to be like Klay Thompson, more Klay Thompson than Stephen Curry, is he is a sharp shooter. He is one of the best sharp shooters in the game. But one thing about Klay Thompson, he plays defense. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about that. This ain't no one-sided affair. This go both ways. But, I don't know. I can keep talking about this topic for a long time. So we're going to have to go ahead and move on because I'm about to wrap this up. I ain't going to be on this much longer. Let's talk about, I gave my opinion about the Pels already. Pels is a 10.5-point favorite tonight. They're going to have their home opener tonight against the Sacramento Kings. They should, to me, if they play with that same energy that they played with on Wednesday, I mean, the Pelicans got a golden opportunity, man. I mean, they could go 2-0 tonight. They play the Clippers on Tuesday. They can find themselves at 3-0. They play the Nets next Friday. They can find themselves at 4-0. And then they play the Jazz next Saturday. I mean, they can find themselves going into playing Utah at home at least, because they got a 4-game homestand, at least 4-0. And potentially looking at 5 before they go on the road. They end the month with Denver and the Golden State Warriors. So, I mean, these are some good games for once, because even before, Alvin Gentry said this before, that they were wanting to get off the fast starts. But the problem is the schedule will never be in their favor. For once, playing a lot of them more teams that, to me, that's underneath. And this one thing I want to see about them, and I'm moving on to the Saints, is them not playing down to competition. This, to me, they should not have any problems with Sacramento. They should handle their business tonight against the Kings. The Clippers don't really have a lot of pieces. I think they should definitely handle their business against the Clippers. And the Nets, to me, who is a team that like to play, who plays very hard, but they still should handle their business. They play in Utah. Utah's going to be a challenging game. You know, this is a team that's on the same level with you. You know, this could be a potential playoff matchup. It should have been one last year. So I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out this week, the next couple of days for the New Orleans Pelicans. So we'll be back on them after a while as well. So let's talk about the Saints. Saints will play the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite to beat the Saints this weekend. I mean, this is the number one ranked defense in football. I mean, but we've never seen that before against this type of set. You know, I know they probably giving the edge to Baltimore because Baltimore is at home. This game will be at 3:30 this weekend. I think the competitive balance is something else I want to see this week on the offensive end, especially with Mark Ingram being back. You know, Ted getting on IR, so I think we're going to see more Traquan Smith and we're going to see more of Cameron Meredith and Aaron Carr. I want to see if Brandon Tate going to get some love at receiver as well with him being out. You know, Tommy Lee. Remember, Tommy Lee is out as well. So, here's my thought about this. This is a must-win to find yourself at 5-1 because you don't have a lot of room for error going forward when you start thinking about the following week you play on Sunday Night Football against the Skull Boys in Minnesota. And then you got to play the Rams. And then here come people like the Philadelphia Eagles. So it don't get no easier for you from here. You know, to me, I think by the time you get to December, you're going to be beat up. But games like this is, to me, is the one that you got to circle like, we got to win this one. And this game remind me, to me, is when they was playing on the road last year when they went to Buffalo. I really thought they was going to Buffalo last year, and I'm like, man, they're going to let Buffalo. Buffalo really was in the playoff hunt at the time, and it was hot. I said, they're going to go down to Buffalo, and they're going to let Buffalo stick with them, and Buffalo will probably win the game. And they did the opposite. They did not. So I think this is like the Buffalo game from last year, early. I want to see what New Orleans is going to do. I think New Orleans really should win this game. I think even with the defense being the way that it is for the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to spread them out like they always do with everybody else. And they're going to find the best mismatchup, and they're going to confuse Baltimore as much as they can. I think New Orleans go down there, and they're going to go down there with class. I expect the defensive line, because really, truly, offensively for the Ravens don't really impress me, you know. So I say New Orleans win this game. To me, if they put up 24 points and they hold Baltimore at least 14-17, that should be your final score. I'm not looking for no shootout. I'm not looking for a high-scoring game. I just want to see you need to win this game on Sunday because you need this momentum going into this weekend because this is a rematch. This team that you're going to go play next weekend, I'm not trying to overlook it, but this team that you're going to play next week have been having your number twice in the same year. So it's going to be interesting to see. You know, this week you got to start making your move now and continue to move away from the NFC. Because right now, you in the NFC South, you were truly on the island when Carolina lost last week and also with Atlanta being down and Tampa Bay is still starting to decline. I mean, Tampa Bay just fired Mike Smith. If Tampa Bay would still find themselves at the top of the division, even with Mike Smith giving up all these points, I'm pretty sure he would be fired. But now, since all of a sudden they find themselves at almost back to the old Buccaneers ways, it's starting to change up. So I'm interested to see what that's going to happen this weekend for the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to definitely come back with full details with the Saints coming off this weekend. One thing I want to talk about before I end the show is I don't like how the NFL also, these Thursday night matchups, man. I mean, last night was abyss. You know, the Cardinals and the Broncos, and it's just almost like the NFL did the NBA a favor by scheduling two teams that was really not all that right now at this moment in time and giving LeBron James the show last night to a degree. I wasn't too impressed with either or. I like what they said earlier in the year when it came down to Cleveland, winning their first game in about 2 years. Somebody on Twitter said the NFL said these Thursday night games should not include trash teams, which it's not right because I think at least the NFL is giving everybody